I think I'm one of those boring people who sort of always knew what they wanted to do. So I decided I wanted to be a journalist when I was about 14, 15. I was in high school, I was interested in news, I was a decent writer, but most of all I really liked telling people something they didn't know. So you can call me a bit of a gossip. I think I was probably a bit annoying. But my main problem was that I had absolutely no idea how to go about it because I didn't know anyone who did anything remotely connected to journalism. So I made a plan which included journalism school, and I went to study journalism here in England, which was absolutely amazing. And then throughout my last year at university, I started applying for jobs, and I kept getting rejected from every single one of them until one of them did not reject me, and that was CNN, which was 11, almost 12 years ago. The rest is the history, as they say. I think over the past 3 decades, journalism at its core, so the way we report stories, the way we decide which stories to cover, hasn't changed that much, because at the end of the day, the reporting skills remain the same. The way we present our stories has changed significantly, of course. So, 30 years ago, one would buy a newspaper in the morning and then maybe listen to the radio throughout the day, and then come 7, 8 p.m. sit down and watch the main news of the day. I don't know many people who sit down every night to watch the main news of the day. So we consume news throughout the day, and for us journalists it means that we have to deliver them constantly, and we have to deliver them in formats that people are interested in consuming them in. So, whether it's online, whether it's on social media, whether it's still on air, because that is our main product still, we do what we can. I think the rise in misinformation and hoax and fake stories makes our role as journalists even more important. So we want people to know that if they turn to CNN, they can expect to get the facts. And we know that when big things happen around the world, people do turn to us because they trust us. So I think our reputation as journalists becomes even more important than it was before the era of fake news and misinformation. For readers, I would advise mostly to be sure to check sources. So go to sources you can trust. CNN is a great example of that. And when something looks like it may not be true, or if something looks too good to be true, it probably is not true. So I think a lot of it is common sense and fact-checking. Look, am I afraid that a robot will take over my job? Of course I am. I think we should all be a little bit afraid of that. But when it comes to journalism, I think what AI is really good at is taking basic facts and maybe writing a very basic news story. So let's say a market report, stock market report, looking at, on this day the FTSE 100 closed 2% down. AI can do that easily. AI will never tell you what it smelled like in Bucha after the Russian troops withdrew from there in Ukraine. So I think there will always be place for human journalists. Do it. Journalism, I think, is the best job in the world. I honestly, every single day, I just cannot believe how privileged I am to have this job. My best career advice is don't give up. There is going to be a lot of people who will be saying, journalism is dying. There will be people saying you can't do it. There will be job rejections and all that. But you can't give up. If you want to do it, just keep pushing and it will happen.